Hello friends, I am Dr. Sandeep Bhasin from Carewell Medical Center. Are you looking for the ways to enhance your beard naturally, how to have a dense and heavy beard in a natural way? So keep watching this video. I'll be telling about how to have a dense beard naturally. So I've been making a lot of videos, educational videos on hair transplantation, beard transplantation, hair loss, vitiligo, gynecomastia, cosmetic surgeries and lasers, and you can have a look at them to know more about other subjects. So today I'll be talking about beard transplantation and the beard growth. How can we have a heavy and dense beard by natural methods? So let's start with this. Few years back it was a trend that people wanted to keep a clean shave and shave out their beard, and that was considered as a very clean and neat look, and clean face was considered as was in fashion. But now having a beard is too much in fashion. It is considered to be too macho or too much masculine feature, that if you have a big and heavy beard. So more and more youngsters and men are wanting to sport a heavy beard and display their heavy beard because it makes them look more muscular, more manly, and that gives them a sense of pride also. So what are the things that we can do to enhance the quality and the density of our beard hair? Let's discuss that. So as I said, there are many factors on which your beard growth would depend. One of them is genetic. There are some areas like in Northeast India, a few countries, where the growth of beard is not very dense, and mostly people do not have very dense beard and mustache. So that's a genetic variation, geographical variation, and compared to that, some races have got very dense beard and very dense mustache. This is something which is geographically defined and genetically defined, and we cannot do much about it. So one thing is genetic and also geographical variation of the beard that is there. Now second thing is the age. When the children are growing from 13 years to 17 years, we call it the puberty or the teenage. And in this puberty teenage, the beard starts coming. And initially when the beard comes, this beard is very sparse, it's not very thick. And slowly with time, 2 years, 3 years, it becomes thicker and denser. So when this beard starts coming, many times youngsters get very anxious and worried that they are not having a full beard. So my advice to these youngsters is, if you are 14 or 15 or 16, is do not get too worried. Wait for 2 years, 3 years. By the time you become 18, 19 or 20, your beard would become better and thicker. So just give time for this beard hair to grow bigger and from vellus to become terminal or thicker hair. That is one thing, the age is very important when you look at the beard. But suppose your hair have not come by the age of 22, 23, then it will be very difficult for the beard hair to come very thick later on. So you'll have to do something by that age if your beard is not coming. Now let me tell you a few things about hair in general. Hair anywhere in the body is not growing continuously. There are cycles. There are three phases in which the hair growth happens. The first is the anagen phase, the second is the catagen phase, and then the telogen phase. So anagen phase is the phase of the growth of the hair. The hair would grow, they will increase in size, they will keep increasing. That is the anagen phase. The catagen phase is when the hair are not growing, they are stagnant, and telogen phase is the phase when the hair are shed. So the whole cycle, this one cycle of hair is the whole cycle, the growth, the stagnation, and then the hair is shed, is there happening all over the body. In the beard and in the scalp, the anagen phase is the longest. It can be up to 2 years or 3 years. The catagen phase is small, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then the telogen phase can last for a few weeks. So like that, this whole cycle repeats itself for 10 to 20 times in the whole lifetime. So that is what happens in the beard hair also. So we have to keep in mind when we are working and improving the hair. When we start treating the hair like beard hair or scalp hair, and want to increase the density, one of the commonest thing that we give to people is minoxidil to apply topically and locally on this beard area. So when you apply minoxidil, it shifts the hair from the catagen phase through the telogen phase into anagen phase. So initially when you apply minoxidil, the shedding may increase and then it will decrease and then the growth would start. So many times when people start using minoxidil, they find the hair growth is not there and the hair are shedding, so they stop using it. So please don't stop using it, keep using minoxidil. It takes about 2 months time for minoxidil to show its effect, and then the hair starts coming into anagen phase and the growth starts. So that is the commonest thing that you can use is start using minoxidil either 5% or 10% topically on your beard area, spray it twice daily and do it continuously for 2 or 3 months. It can make your beard little thicker, denser, and can also increase the density of your hair. But this may not always be successful, because if there are no roots present, then minoxidil cannot work. It cannot cause the hair roots to grow if there are no hair roots. So this is one thing you keep in mind, the minoxidil topically. Similarly, there are many peptides like Procapil is there, Redensil is there, Anagen is there, that can be used to apply topically on the face to improve your beard growth, just like your scalp growth. Now there is one difference between when you want to increase your beard growth and scalp hair. In the beard growth, we don't have to use DHT blockers like finasteride and dutasteride, which are needed if we want to increase the scalp hair. So when we want a dense beard, we do not have to use finasteride, we do not have to use dutasteride or any DHT blocker. This is one big difference between the beard hair and the scalp hair. So this is one thing I would like you to keep it in mind when you are trying to treat, and this has to be done under supervision of a dermatologist or a trichologist or a doctor who knows about how to manage the hair. So this is some fine distinction between the management of the beard hair. Now another thing that you can use, people use many times, is like beard oils, like onion beard oil or different castor oil or pumpkin oil. They can be used. They can have some role. I'm not saying they cannot have, but again they have a limited role. They can only make your hair little denser, thicker, but they cannot increase the hair if there are no hair roots present. Like castor oil has been found to be very good for hair, both on the scalp and the beard. There are mechanisms by which the castor oil improves, the hair growth by working on inhibiting the prostaglandins. Similarly, pumpkin oil has a big role because pumpkin oil is a DHT blocker. And for scalp hair, it has a very big role. In beard, it may have a role, but still it's not very proven. Onion oil increases the hair growth by causing irritation. And onion oil is very useful for a condition called alopecia areata. But one thing I must tell you, onion oil, if you're using, sometimes it can cause dermatitis, contact dermatitis. You have to be very careful, especially when you're applying it on the face, on the beard area. If it causes you dermatitis or contact dermatitis, it can cause a lot of irritation, burning, itching, and sometimes inflammation. And because of inflammation, hyperpigmentation can happen, which is called post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So use onion oil, but with a lot of care that it may not cause you some hyperpigmentation. And when you are using these creams and ointments, sometimes it's better to use a moisturizer along with them. A good moisturizer would be a good thing to combine with it. And also you have to use sunscreens so that they do not cause irritation and hyperpigmentation on your face. Now these are the few topicals that I have told you which are commonly used from the home remedies and from the pharmaceutical side. Besides this, we can use derma rollers. Now derma rollers are being used a lot in hair loss from the scalp, and derma roller can be of different lengths, starting from 0.5 to 1 millimeter to 1.5 millimeter. In the beard, we can use 0.5 or 1 millimeter. That's good enough. I suggest once a week derma roller is a good choice to have. Then we come to PRP, platelet-rich plasma therapy. Now PRP, is a technique by which we take your blood, separate platelets, and then we inject these platelets on the scalp, on the beard, wherever we want the hair growth. So platelets have got a lot of growth factors and they can stimulate the hair growth. That's another thing, PRP, that can be used for the beard growth along with all these things. And sometimes, this very important, that why is the beard growth not happening is it can be because of hormonal imbalance, especially if testosterone hormone is not adequate. And if that is the case, sometimes giving testosterone hormone can be a good option. Topically it can be given as a cream, and orally can be given, or as injections it can be given. Now this thing is very relevant in when we do sex reassignment surgeries. We want a female to be converted to male, or sometimes the males also have got their male hormones less as compared to what they should be having. So there we can give this androgens, we can give testosterone, and sometimes by giving this at the right time, if we give an early age, we give these hormones, it can help to increase your hair growth also. But this has to be done under medical supervision, because if you take testosterone without supervision, it can have a lot of side effects. It can be toxic to your liver, it can cause atrophy of the testes, and it can have a lot of other side effects also. So please don't do it alone, do it under supervision of a doctor who is observing what are you having and what treatment is being given to you. So friends, these are various methods by which you can enhance the growth of your beard, using some topicals, ointments, medicines, and some treatments. But if you're not getting good results with all this, beard transplantation is a proven method which can give you a very dense beard, and the beard of your desire, the way you want to look that you can get from the beard transplantation. But that's another topic, and I made separate videos on that. So friends, I think if you have any question regarding this, you can ask from the comment down what questions you have regarding beard growth, beard transplantation. You can also send these questions to us on WhatsApp. I am giving my WhatsApp number where you can send these questions, and also our email address. You can also send on email the following questions. Friends, we have a social media channel. You can connect us on the social media channel. And as I said initially, I have made a lot of videos on beard transplant, hair transplantation, vitiligo, gynecomastia. You can also have a look at them if you're interested. If you can give your suggestions, what kind of educational videos you want from our end on cosmetic treatments, anti-aging, we can make it more for you. And with this, I thank you all for listening to this video and being there with me. Hoping to see you sometimes in future. Please like and subscribe this video if you liked it, and share it with your friends. I am Dr. Sandeep Bhasin from Kerwell Medical Center. Thank you.